Everybody, welcome back to Wiki Sports, and welcome back to At the Buzzer. I'm joined as always by Jack Tiernan. Jack, how are you?
Brian, doing well, thanks.
And Ryan Flynn. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Brad. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, so big news for the Celtics today. We got a trade with the trade deadline fast approaching. Made one a little bit earlier. Jack, do you want to take it away? Talk about that?
Sure. So I'm actually kind of pumped about this one. Xavier Tillman ranks in the 99th percentile of just defenders in general this season, which is sweet. So Celtics get Xavier Tillman for Lamar Stevens, Celtics 2027 second round pick via Atlanta, and then our 2030 second round pick via Dallas. So literally picks that we traded back for and acquired this most recent draft essentially trading down like 10 picks to draft Jordan Walsh anyway. So that was what Brad was doing. Brad's master plan worked. We got Xavier Tillman for essentially Lamar Stevens and like some throwaway draft capital. So I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Yeah, what do you think he's going to bring to the team that the team is missing here? What was the reason you would say for this trade?
I think Xavier Tillman is somebody who had a lot more minutes for a very, I guess you could say, deflated Memphis team, for lack of a better term. His offensive numbers aren't exactly eye-popping and his efficiency is not great, but from a defensive perspective, just that presence and that ability to play at the forward small ball center type of guy is exciting. So a little bit more reliable depth behind Al and Kristaps, who I know we've talked about. We've preached this pretty much the entire season. We're worried about their depth down the line. So being able to come in and essentially just be a minutes eater for those guys right now is a really good asset.
And Ryan, how do you feel about what they had to give up in order to get this player here?
I think it's pretty perfect. I mean, Xavier Tillman is like a pretty ideal, like 8th or 9th guy, like third string big. He's like, a swing power forward center. He has a lot of classic big tools that we kind of lack, like rim protection, the rebounding. It's going to I think Keita's probably going to lose most of his minutes, but that's not a big, it is what it is. Cool guy though. Like him, but yeah, I mean, for what it is, it's like a really good trade. That being said, I was kind of hoping we would get like a veteran. I'm kind of still hoping, like, I honestly
trade deadline hasn't passed yet. What, like,
True.
If you're blue skying here, who are you looking at?
I mean, it's too big, but like, if they did, I don't know how they do. If they got like Andre Drummond for not very much, and then we really would, yeah, that'd be. I'd love to see it, like, because he's just rebounding at such a high clip right now, and like, again, I think we need a little like toughness, tenacity, like veteran tenacity, and not that, I mean, Al obviously brings that, but yeah, I think we could use another veteran, just like to come in off the the deep rotation. Because most of our deep, that is kind of an issue. Like, not an issue, but like most of our deep bench guys are like pretty unvetted. And like, Tillman, yeah, exactly. Tillman has experience with Memphis. And it's kind of weird they're trading him. I mean, they're blowing up, it seems. I don't even know. I mean, they traded Steven Adams away yesterday.
Yeah, to the Rockets too,
Yep.
Which is unfortunate. On that note, I wanted to. Sorry,
I was just going to say, once Ja got her, they were just like, well, it's fucked. There's no chance for us this year.
Well, this is 13 players on the injury report against us when they played.
Yeah, Marcus Smart didn't even play. He just watched. So that's too bad.
Yeah, but like, what are they doing with their like big, like, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
No, I don't know either. That's for the At the Buzzer Memphis edition. That not us, but for them, whoever they are out there, our equivalent for the Grizzlies. Jack, do you have any like players that you would like to see the Celtics target coming up in this trade deadline?
I know we joke about Ryan and I always having the same takes, but my number one guy was Andre Drummond. The question with like him, and has always been the question, was his motor, I think, at least in Detroit and in Cleveland for that matter. I don't know if that's, is very similar to DeAndre Ayton with the, like, is this guy going to be a culture fit? I think there's enough positive influence around him that we could get a dude in there who, I mean, look, who doesn't want a guy that averages 10 points a game and 11 rebounds off the bench? That's crazy. I'd take that. Like I think any team would be stupid not to take that. So he's very cost effective. The Bulls aren't exactly going anywhere this year, even though Kobe White is showing out, which is sweet. I just feel like that's blue skies. If we're talking blue skies, I want Andre Drummond as well. If that means we have to give up somebody like Kate, I'm fine with that. Even though we won't be able to say the Al-Qaeda front court, which is my favorite. So
yeah, I'd say Kata. Honestly, I'd give up Cornette.
Same. And Cornette's playing well, and he came from Chicago actually when we got him.
Pretty well. Now I love Luke Cornette. Honestly, I do. But yeah, I would get rid of them.
He's a defensive traffic cone. So
I wonder. We'll probably keep Pritchard, right? But you wonder.
Pritchard is a great trade asset though, because he just signed that deal for what is it? It was 4 years, $30 million. So that's a cost-effective option for a lot of teams who is great depth scoring, ball handling. Can kind of play that combo guard role, which is sweet.
And yeah, not combo guard on defense. Oh, then again, he does it. He's pretty good with like if people try to post him up and stuff. He's like he's very scrappy.
Pickpocket. He's scrappy, exactly. So not on defense. He's got. Yeah, that's a good point.
No, but I mean, because he is awesome for what he is. But my concern with Pritchard has always been, it's just in the playoffs. Like if he plays in a 7-game series, like he's playing like 20, 25 minutes a game and he's doing his thing. People are just going to have like, you think about the Heat would haven't figured out in like 5 seconds.
Totally.
He just doesn't feel like a guy you're going to, if you need to, you're like running for a bunch of time, Totally. I remember a lot. I don't think it would ever happen, but I remember at the beginning of the season, I heard a rumor about Alex Caruso.
I did too.
I'm going on a limb. I like that personally. A lot of people were like, no, I wouldn't want to give up Peyton Pritchard for Caruso, but
I would. Please.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close. But Alex Caruso is like if you ever just tune in on a Bull, I'll just say this: if you ever just one of you bet on another team to beat the Bulls, then tune into a Bulls game the fourth quarter. Alex Caruso will make like 3 just like annoying ass plays. It's just who he is.
He's very I don't want to say Marcus Smart like.
He's a winner. He's a winner. I think
he is.
He is.
I like him a lot.
He is like Marcus Smart, kind of. He's not as
a little bit better offensive tools wise.
Yeah, and he does it well. I think a big thing too is he doesn't have that. Like he can be aggressive when needed, but he's fine just taking he'll literally sometimes, from what I remember, I haven't watched him in a bit. Like he'll take like 2 shots in a game sometimes.
Yeah,
and he'll just do a bunch of other shit.
Which I love. I love that as a wing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, trading Peyton Pritchard, that's also just like a shot to the heart of Boston fans. That's their guy.
He's a short white guy, of course.
Angry Bostonians. You're like, that Pritchard, he's pretty good. He's underrated.
It's an old school take, but I was like saying man, I heard like LA, like apparently they need to they're like interested in DeJounte Murray. I had heard, and I was like, I would think they'd have to give up Boston Reeves for that, but who knows? Yeah. I mean, they do. Yeah, but my buddy was like saying they're like us, like they need if they need one white guy and they won't and they won't trade it.
They need one. They need one.
Yeah. So we got 2 right now. So
yeah, the meme that always comes out in the fourth quarter.
3. We have 3.
Cornette, Hauser, Pritchard, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the meme that always comes out in the fourth quarter from the Pocahontas. I was like, these white men are dangerous.
It's my favorite white lineup, right? Is Derek White, of course, he counts, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other 3, and then the other 3 plus he wears number 13. I can't think of his name, but he's on a 2-way deal, and I like his upside. But he came from the Heat organization. I'm trying to think of his name, but totally blanking on it. Either way, that's it, man. We got to trot those guys out and call it a day.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to come up with the Boston Cream lineup.
Oh yeah, Porzingis. Duh. Never mind. What am I talking about?
That's like what you're thinking about, because there's also that Eastern European dude.
Svi Mikhailuk, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in there. We got a white lineup and some depth. Crazy.
Oh man, but yeah. So
Very Boston.
speaking of really. Speaking of Austin Reeves, and maybe it was part of the reason why this trade got facilitated. Ryan, what the hell happened last week against the Lakers? No LeBron, no AD. Celtics lost.
Yeah, I mean, I just think no one was expecting it. To be honest, like even me, I like when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, are they going to go through D'Angelo Russell? And this is crazy, right? I forgot about Austin Reeves kind of. Like I was like, oh, shit, we knew, but I was like, oh, yeah, he's the guy. And, I just think we saw kind of, the poor shooting, the turnovers, kind of just frustrations. We've seen off and on this year, but like that were very prevalent last year. It does seem like the Celtics were kind of hitting a funk. And I mean, I personally I'm surprised the Lakers are as bad as they are this year overall, just because I thought they filled out the roster pretty nicely. Like they have some pretty good additive pieces to put around LeBron and AD. And you saw that in that game. I mean, Austin Reeves had an incredible game. D'Angelo Russell was playmaking at least. Vanderbilt got hurt. I really like him. Who else they have? Rui Hachimura, Torian Prince had a big game, I believe. I'd have to look at the stats. I didn't look at his stats, but he was making shots, and it was just one of the. I mean, and then also, I mean, there's 82 games in a year. Given that wasn't an excuse for that one because that was like the Clippers, maybe, but then it happens again, and it was just like, so that's just what happens. I mean, we've kind of seen, and that's been a big right. Like a lot of people criticize the Celtics for this right now is that they just fall asleep when they're up a lot, and
they do. Yeah, I always thought they just trot out some bullshit,
Like,
this is the Celtics doing it again, just fucking bullshitting around.
Was it Shaq who was like, well, in this episode of Fuck Around and Find Out, the Celtics have once again that's pretty good. So that's what I would just say it is, and it's just a reminder that these are NBA teams, and any team, most teams. I mean, the NBA is stacked right now, talent wise.
Yeah,
I was just talking about my buddy who came over to watch the game, so it's like you got to play 100%, have your foot on the gas all the time,
Yeah,
and you're seeing it with some of the other teams, you're seeing other teams like Timberwolves. Obviously they have games that lose and stuff, they'll just beat the crap out of teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, Jack, I don't know if you have any thoughts about the Lakers game before we get out of here.
I mean, just quickly, right? I think Ryan said it well, right? A lot of these guys just kind of came out and popped off. And, one of them being Austin Reeves, who was, I think, even still coming off the bench during that for some reason, which I thought was strange. I might be wrong. I'm going to check that. No, he started. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was him, Russell.
I mean, who was Rui came off the bench. That's who it was. They started.
No, Rui was in it. I thought he was. No,
he played a lot, but I think he played more once Vanderbilt got hurt. Vanderbilt was starting. I know. So it looks like it was Torian Prince, Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes at center.
You're right. Yeah.
D'Lo and Reeves.
Good call. Jackson Hayes, I've always thought is a decent.
I like him. Yeah, good rim runner, if nothing else. I like him for that. But what I thought is, again, these aren't the Lakers that you're going to see in the playoffs, right? That offense is run through AD and LeBron. So for me, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I know it's weird that we lost to them, but it's not something we really game. We're not going to, Joe's not going to take the practices that week and be like, we have to game plan for Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell offensively, that's not, and I get that, maybe it's a secondary, tertiary, if that. So it sucks that we lost and everyone's probably clowning on the Celtics because who isn't wanting to clown on the Celtics? But I thought that was that's a one-off, right? I'm not too worried about that down the line, frankly.
I mean, all it is it's turnover, shooting, and more consistent defense.
They couldn't miss from three. Also, I swear to God, I think they were shooting 60% from deep at one point, and I was like, doesn't matter what happens the rest of the game. That was at a decent way through, probably at least halfway through the second quarter at that point. So I'm
It
like,
was
okay,
a total. Yeah, it was a total of I think there were 33s in the game, and like the average NBA game, give or take, the last few seasons has been like 24. So I mean, and they definitely hit more than I think we hit. Was it like 17 and 13? Is that accurate?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, which is fine, right? But they
17 threes. I mean, good, really good.
yeah,
So.
for sure. Like that's a ton, and they did it. Austin Reeves was pulling up from anywhere and just drilling them too. So I'm like, you know what, good for him. Like, and glad that he got his showing out game. But also, no, screw off. Like, I'd rather we win this.
Bro, you're on mute.
Make you muted, bro.
Sorry about that. Anything else before we get on out of here?
Not for me.
No, just the Hawks tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, Ryan? Get a prediction?
I think right now, right, the Celtics have kind of had. I think they're going to win in a pretty big way. I think they should. I just don't see a reason why not. I do think Trey plays pretty well against us. I feel he's been pretty hot, at least numbers wise.
Jack knows.
Not so much. Yeah,
to see Trey Young hit a game winner in the playoffs last year.
Very fun.
That's all you want.
And All-Star Trey Young now. All-Star alternate, but All-Star nonetheless.
He's made the All-Star team before. No,
he did, but he made it.
Oh, because he
made it. Yeah, he just got in for this year, like yesterday.
Yeah, I honestly, I'll be honest. I don't really I've never really liked Trae Young very much. But I think people have. I think it's like guys get kind of called out for their flaws, but then it's like people really beat down on them, right?
Yeah.
Like Westbrook was a perfect example, even like in his older age.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, Trey has a ton of faults, but he's one of the most, and like it's a whole other conversation, like building your team with him as your star, and all the things he needs to work on. But I mean, he's an incredible shooter, passer. I mean,
facilitator. Yeah.
One of the most talented offensive players in the NBA.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be fun. It's always fun to watch, like star players from other teams. Don't get to see the Hawks that much.
No,
so sure. They're not on national broadcasts that often.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was even in the Lakers game. Scalabrine called it because they were like saying, do you think Derek White had a chance? And like generally the way it works is because they want to get representation from as many teams as possible. So a lot of people thought it would have been Scotty Barnes. I think Trey
got it too.
Oh, he did. Yeah, Trey probably did. Yeah, and did I include that I voted for Trey in the All-Star? I think I actually.
Did you?
I might have had him as a starter because I didn't see a clear starter in the East, and like I don't know. I just don't think Dame. I obviously Dame is amazing, but I don't think he earned the starting spot this year.
Not compared to Trey. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's just my opinion, and I think overall career-wise, obviously Dame's a better player.
Sure, yeah, but yeah, that stuff shouldn't matter for a season All-Star, nod. I hate it when it's like, oh, you got to have this person. It's like it's not a legacy award.
Well, right. You got to think about the voting a lot, like right, like KD and Kyrie were really popular last year. It's how these teams. It's team right. The Bucks are being marketed because it's Giannis and Lillard, and Dame Lillard's is a pretty big household name, and he's on a new team, and people who follow the NBA know that team's kind of struggling, and actually, Dame's playing fairly well. He's not. No one would say he's playing poorly, but relatively this year has been a struggle for him. But you just see he's averaging 25 points per game on, next to Giannis on the Bucks, who are in second place, and that's what you get.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jack, where can they find you online?
Best place to find me is on Twitter, and that's @Jack_Tiernan. So follow me there. You can also follow me on Instagram, my disc golf account. Trying to post a little bit more. Got some tournaments coming up, and that's @JackDiscGolf. So follow me there.
Awesome. And Ryan, do you have anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
Why do you always ask, Brian?
What is it? If I don't ask and then you do, I feel like an asshole. I don't know.
I just purse my lips and stare at you.
All right, so nothing for Ryan. You can follow me on Twitter at the fake BMAR, BMARR. Main channel is Wicked Good Everything. Just put a new video out there about Power World and how it compares with Pokemon and all that fun stuff. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. And then we have our podcasting channel, Better Radio, actually recording a Wicked Good Show podcast. It's been a long time, but a new Wicked Good Show podcast recording right after this, so that'll be good. So make sure you check that out. And then, of course, we cover New England sports here on the channel. And on TikTok, we cover like all kinds of sports. I'm always talking about random NFL news, and now we'll have random NBA news to talk about too. So please check us out in all those places. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.
Pleasure as always, bro.